Salute, salute, salute. What's going on? Straight to the point. Uh, we at we at it early, um, and this is not really well. One of them not really on no good circumstances, but nevertheless, we gonna cook. We definitely gonna cook, but I hope everybody feeling all right. Y'all hit that like button. Been real busy these last few days. The weather is roller coasting. Some people are still snowed in. We not snowed in over here in Texas. Okay, we're not snowed here. We're not snowed in here. It's still low temperatures, but uh, it's still pretty cold or whatnot. But people are still able to get out. But I'm hearing that a lot of people in different parts of the country are snowed in. So uh, take advantage of that, man. Relax. I know some people get cabin fever, but just like you snowed in, just like when the country was shut down and everything, people couldn't stand being in the house and all that other stuff. I'm out of the house every day, so it wasn't no thing for me to be in the house. You understand what I mean? So, um, but let's go ahead and let's talk about this tragedy that took place with Michael, 5,000 watts. Uh, Now I'll wait for just a couple people to get up in here, man, and then we'll build on this. Maybe some people knew who he was, and some people didn't, man. But uh, if you if you didn't know who Michael 5,000 watts was, then I'll be definitely glad to fill you in. But for those of y'all that know who Michael 5,000 watts was and what he meant for not only the state of Texas, but also meant for the city of H Town, then you'll know that this was a big loss, a tremendous loss for the city of Houston and its fans nationwide and worldwide too. So, like I said, man, I give it a couple minutes. Like I said, man, I hope everybody is feeling good, man. They don't seem to be uh, putting my videos out, so that's all right though. It's cool. Uh, But we'll go ahead and we'll chop it up regardless. Now, Michael 5,000 watts, man. Now he came in during a time when uh, there was a transitional period when it came to when we talk about Texas hip hop now. Uh, Michael 5,000 watts, he emulated what the late DJ Screw at that time had done in terms of DJing. Okay, and was there a lot of was there a period of when they went at each other? Yeah, but it was more competition now on the street level. You had a lot of stuff that was going on between the north side and the south side of Houston and everything. But Michael Watts never had any ill will towards DJ Screw. As a matter of fact, he paid homage to DJ Screw by doing what he needed to, do in terms of his DJing and stuff. But he had his hand in many different things. He was a CEO. of Swisher House Records and stuff. And hey, Ashley, what's going on, sweetie? I see you in here. Yeah, y'all salute. And make sure you support the Cash App too as well. My Cash App is dollar sign straight to the point 77. And make sure y'all hit that like though. But salute to Ashley in here. Hope you're doing okay, sweetie. But to get back to what I was saying about DJ 5,000 watts, he was able to take what DJ Screw did and still continue the movement. Okay, Swisher. He was also good at breaking artists, just like DJ Screw was great at breaking artists. You said R.I.P. to Watts. He grew up. Uh, oh, okay. Well, actually, I didn't know, but I have to think though. Swisher House did go everywhere across the country, and they went around the world. So, and I forget, you a southern woman. So yeah, you probably didn't know him, and I know that they was in that southeast a lot, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, places like that. And I know that a lot of people came over here to Houston. Houston is an attraction. But yes, if you grew up during that time, because we're talking like in the beginning when everything had began. We're talking about the late '90s. Okay, we're talking about when they really started to make their presence felt. 96, 97. Now I had my opportunity to see Michael Watts. Now I wasn't able to shake his hand formally like that. Didn't get to chop it up with him like that, but I was able to chop it up with people around him. Um, you said Screw paved the way and Watts kept it going. Yeah, well, Screw was the innovator, and see, a lot of people try to make it. See, Ashley, let me tell you though, okay? A lot of people tried to make it a beef between Swisher House and Screwed Up Click, or if you talk about Wreck Shop, that was the South Side. Um, those records and stuff, but they tried to make it like a beef. It pretty much was North versus South, but there was a lot of people that they wasn't tripping on the North and the South and everything. You had people and you had several artists like, okay, for instance, ESG and Slim Thug. Okay, Slim Thug at the time, he was a part of Swisher House. ESG part of Screwed Up Click, but they were able to, one from the north and one from the south. They were able to bridge the gap. Now, was there a lot of violence that was going on? Yeah, a lot of people were losing their lives. There was a lot of carjacking. Well, the people were, stealing rims and stuff like that. That was a big thing, and cars and stuff like that. So the biggest thing is that a lot of people got to know the stamped history on what's going on. If you don't know the stamped history behind screw music, well, then you really wouldn't understand why people feel the way that they feel. Why she feels the way that she feels. But he was able to take it to a whole nother level. I agree with Ashley 100%. Like he kept the movement going, and then of course he was able to break other artists, and help them, pave the way. Like, who could forget about, of course, Power Wow, Slim Thug, Chameleonaire, Mike Jones, even artists before them, Archie Lee, um, just different artists. And on top of that, Michael Watts was able to not trip on people, giving people a second chance. When Little Kiki had came over to Switch Out, and a lot of people don't know who Little Kiki is, but Little Kiki, um, very well known, legendary hip hop artist out of H Town, out of Houston, and he was from the South Side. Well, everybody thought that it was forbidden for him to go to Swisher House. But see, a lot of people don't know, and little Kiki had talked about this. And shout out to Donnie Houston. He talked about it to Donnie Houston, and he also talked about it on the Mike D podcast. But little Kiki was on the run. He was on the run, and he had some legal stuff that he had to get taken care of. But he still had his love for rap, and his thing was he wasn't tripping about going to the other side, and a lot of other people were tripping about it. So, but anyways, man, I'm not trying to go all off tangent and all over the place. But here's the thing, though, and I know people get sick of me talking about this, but we got to get back to health. Now, apparently, he had some issues with his heart, you know, and there I say again, okay. Now, his wife had came out and she defended him, saying that he was an advocate for working out 2-3 times a day and getting himself right and everything. What I'm saying, uh, shortly before he had passed away and everything. Um, and he did the right things. What I'm saying. Sometimes when it's time to go, it's time to go. You said DJ Wise help Power in some of his songs. Salute to you, Stephen. Well, he helped everybody. Listen, man, this guy right here, man, he gave people opportunity. He gave people opportunity. OG Run C, a lot of people don't know who that is, but they had their different categories of of I should say, CDs at that time. Uh, they had the the R&B. They used to call it fuck action. That's what they used to call it. They used to have a thing called after the Kappa, and it would play songs that was geared towards when you go to a like the Kappa beach parties and plays like that. The fuck action, of course, was for if you want to get it in, that's what he had. And then of course he had the freestyle tapes too. Uh, headed to the classic. He was talking about. Of course, he was talking about the classics. They had the main classic that they was really talking about was in Louisiana. So that's what they that's what he was talking about. But um, this is what I'll say, man. Okay, and I'm gonna say this to y'all, and I'm gonna say it again. And I've already said it in reference to Ray J. I think Steven was in here. If he was, he was. If he wasn't, he wasn't. And actually, I know you. I don't think you were in here, but man, if you have your medications and you need to take them, or your doctor has told you to do something, follow what the doctor tells you to do, and don't try to take anything in your hand. I know we are all strong willed as black folks. You said Houston, Texas have a lot of music artists. Well, yeah, I mean we listen. H Town doesn't get its props for a lot of the things that they do, and at one time they had listen, they had their run, just like everybody had their run in hip hop. Okay, and Ashley knows about this. So do you do. So do you, Steven. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about it. You go through the timeline. If you talk about the the 2000s, okay, when we talk about the old, because Houston had always musically, when we talk about overall culture, has always been a dominant force. But when we talk about the 2000, I would say 2004, 5, up until the 2010, around that time, it was a mixture, and Ashley knows what I'm talking about. It was a mixture between Texas, when you talk about Dallas, when you talk about H Town, and Atlanta, and you got to throw Alabama in there. You know what I'm saying? Because there was some a few artists from Alabama that did their thing. You know what I'm saying? Like when I think about Rich Boy, I think that was his name. Um, but there were a lot of throughout the South, and you got to talk about Louisiana too. Can't forget about Louisiana when you talk about savage music. When you talk about the Boosies, the Webbies, it was the South was just running thing, and everybody was coming from different parts of the country to the South. You know what I'm saying? And they doing that now. They doing that now. Before they would look at us, Ashley, and I know Ashley. I'm not. She's a businesswoman and everything. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to like real estate stuff like that, people are coming over here, and I'm getting off the subject just a little bit, but it correlates to what I'm talking about. People come over here to get our land. People come over here to get the buildings, to get property and stuff like that because cheap. Now they're starting to raise everything because they see that everybody is starting to come. The demand is getting even higher and everything. Um, but that's the same thing when it came to music. Nobody was tripping on, you got artists from the East Coast that come over here, like 50 Cent, Raekwon, you know what I'm saying, from Wu-Tang Clan, Gangstar, you know what I'm saying? That's why Bun B had a good relationship with guys on the East Coast, guys on the West Coast. That's why DJ Screw, before he passed away, he had a relationship with a lot of these guys. You said Miami. Well, I forget. Yeah, Miami too. I forget about Miami, but Miami kind of had its own style. You know what I'm saying? With the booty shaking and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's a style that everybody loves. You know what I'm saying? Like with when we talk about Luke and stuff like that. But then, of course, you had the Rick Rosses. Of course, you had Florida and whole in general when you talk about Plies. And so it and I consider Miami the South. Some people consider it, so they say Southeast. It is Southeast, but people consider it the South. You know what I'm saying? But I give Miami sound as credit. You know what I'm saying? And Rick Ross fell in that category too. If you don't, you might not like Rick Ross. You know what I'm saying? Some people might hate on Rick Ross, but he was definitely doing his thing. But when it come to Michael 5,000 watts, he was willing to work with everybody. He worked with everybody and willing to, he showed love to everybody, much like DJ Screw. This was a tremendous law. He said, no, Memphis and Houston have always been underrated. Sounds to me. Uh, ATL is my favorite regional, but all region influence the South. Yeah, New Orleans, Memphis. Yeah, you can't forget about Memphis. That's why, like, I never discount talking about places like Memphis, Atlanta, and see, Ashley knows what I'm talking about right here. Stephen, man, Atlanta and Houston were actually competing. They were biting off of each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, uh, it became so competitive. It was like it was Houston versus Atlanta at one point. But to see, the thing about it is that H Town, they go to Atlanta. Atlanta comes over here. There's a lot of people from ATL that come over to H Town and Dallas. Look, I don't get into all that, man. Look, man, wherever you from, hell, you could be from Chicago. You know what I'm saying? New York. You know what I'm saying? LA, it don't matter. You said also DJ Premier's. Yeah, exactly. He did. And I'm glad you brought that up, actually. DJ Premier, you, you know, with Gangstar, with him and Guru, um, you know, Bun B, he he stepped out of his, I'm not gonna say his comfort zone, but he did something that was unique. You know, Bun B from UGK, they have always been known to do that. Him and Pimp C, before Pimp C had passed away, you know, of course, you know, they were able to do something that was monumental. Now, in the beginning, they were opposed to the idea of talking about big pimping with Jay Z, but that was another groundbreaker. It's kind of like a groundbreaker, Ashley and Steven. And I love talking about hip hop because a lot of people don't know what they're talking about when they talk about hip hop. But I'm gonna talk to you about it now. It's kind of like a groundbreaking when you saw Run DMC do a song with Aerosmith. You understand? Like everybody was like, you know, walk this way. You know what I'm saying? People thought it was crazy for Run DMC being a huge hip hop group at the time. You know what I'm saying? Getting with Aerosmith. You know what I'm saying? They thought it was crazy, but guess what? They made it work. You know what I'm saying? So in the beginning, Jay Z and UGK, when they linked up and stuff, initially Pimp C was opposed to it. They wanted to stay underground. They wanted to keep their name, no pun intended, but they wanted to keep it underground and everything. But nah, they went worldwide, you know. And that song is still played today when we talk about Big Pimpin'. You know what I'm saying? And at first they wasn't gonna do it. What's it called? Bun B and Pimp C had clashed over it. You said that's true, Steven and Straight. Miami did it. And yeah, they did. They did. And like I said, of course, you're always gonna give Atlanta its props. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to go to those places. It's a hip hop hub. Like a DJ is gonna have to go to Atlanta. A DJ gonna have to go to New York. A DJ gonna have to go to Miami. A DJ gonna have to go to LA. A DJ gonna have to go to Chi-Town. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna have to go to, and 9 times out of 10 when you break your music, I know some people get mad. I know some people gonna get offended and everything like that when I say this, but you want to break your record, or you want to break your song or your hit. You want to break that in the strip club. Now you could get it a little better now. You know what I'm saying, in terms of the TikTok. You know what I'm saying, in terms of social media and stuff. You know what I'm saying, because it's so easy to get an audience and everything like that. But back then, getting in the strip, breaking your song in the strip club, that was very important. And where you gonna go? You're gonna go to the hottest cities in the country. But see, people don't really want to talk about. Oh, I'm offended. Why would you say that? But it's the truth. You got to break it because people want to see a, they want to hear a sound that they could dance to and stuff. And if you break it in a strip club or whatever, you break it. Even in the club, in the hottest club or whatever. Guess what? It's gonna get the people talking. Now you can break it on social media or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Of course, it's gonna go viral. You know what I'm saying? Just like the song with Boo called "Headband." Now you got people dancing to it, and see everybody thought that was NBA YoungBoy. You know, so but anyway, man, yeah. Uh, I give props to Michael Watts, man. He definitely was a guy, man. That he was a force to be reckoned with, and of course, you're gonna have people out there that's gonna call him the carbon copy. They're gonna talk down. They're gonna say different stuff. Oh, they never was like SUC, but they weren't trying to be like SUC. You know what I'm saying? They was trying to be their own style. You know, and it was just good competition. Hip hop is competition. I just don't like it when, okay, unfortunately, people got to lose their life behind it. Because to me, it's not that serious. It's not that serious, but uh, I give them his flowers. But see, that's why you got to give people their flowers uh, right now. while they could smell them, man. You know what I'm saying? Give them their flowers now. Now people want to start coming in. Now people want to start giving them his credit and stuff. No, you know what I'm saying? You should have been, because I mean, he might have been off the scene, for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Some people seen him, some people didn't, or whatever. But you gotta cherish people while they're here, man. You know what I'm saying? Check on your people while you're here. But the main thing is, all these people talk about, oh yeah, he was young, because he wasn't number 52. 52 is young. 52 is young. Now, I'm not trying to get on here and talk about the complications and none of that other stuff. But what I'm gonna tell you is take that extra step for your health. You know what I'm saying? Hey, forget everybody else. You know what I'm saying? You are the one that matters. You know what I'm saying? Because when you gone, that's it. When you gone, that's it. You know what I'm saying? You're just gonna be, a memory. You might be a long-lasting memory, or you might be, short-lived. Some people may not remember you at all. Some people may not even care. But do what you can right now to uh, get your stuff together. You know what I'm saying, in terms of your health and stuff. A lot of people don't look at that. We talk about living, but people don't want to talk about the other side. But like I said, man, I ain't on here to preach and get all philosophical or whatever. Because his wife, it came on there. You know what I'm saying? Real, it touched me. Being that his wife came, and I think he had 5 kids. He had 5 kids, if I'm not mistaken. So this man was a family man. You know what I'm saying? This man was a family man, an entrepreneur. Uh, he put people on. He gave people opportunity. He went, against the grain, so to speak. Because I'm gonna tell you this too. A lot of people don't know this either. He took a lot of hit. He took a lot of hit for him emulating the style that DJ Screw had. You know what I'm saying? He took a lot of criticism for it. But he had always he stood 10 toes down and he let them know. I'm not trying to step on any toes or anything like that. But see, the people had it like that. The people said a few minutes a day helps get better. Reverse. It doesn't reverse, but improves heart. Def Jam Records gave people opportunity. I mean, yeah, they did, but we're talking more so about some of the not so major uh, record labels. Now, I want to go back to what Ashley was saying. Yeah, all you need is a few minutes. Everybody think that you got to get in there and you gotta work out like Kobe Bryant used to do, working out 8 hours a day, 6 to 8 hours. No, you don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? There's very few people that are able to do that. All you need, all you need is anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. Everybody think that you need 30 minutes. You really don't need 30 minutes. If you could do 5 minutes of intense training, you good. Do that 5 minutes a day. You want to build yourself up. But the main thing is diet too. You gotta watch what you're putting in your system. I'm not just talking about food, but just your lifestyle. That's just like with the situation, Ashley, when we talk about Ray J, and I've gotten reports that he miraculously is feeling better. Now a lot of people think that he might be capping or just doing this for social media. I hope he isn't. I hope he's not doing that for clout. I don't think a person should do that. Talking about your heart is beating at 25%, that's not nothing to play with. You know what I'm saying? That's not nothing to play with. And a lot of people would have kept it quiet, like Catherine O'Hara. See, I didn't know that she was struggling with illness or whatever the case is, and kept it quiet. And then what did they say? She passed away from a brief illness. Now I ain't gonna lie, that shocked the shit out of me. Catherine O'Hara. So we had them back to back. We lost Catherine O'Hara, and then turn around, back door, you lose Michael 5,000 watts. Um, but I agree with you though, Ashley, 100%. And I'm gonna take it a step further. You got to be consistent with it, but you got to be consistent with taking your medicines. If they tell you to take your medicine, or they tell you to take whatever it is that you need to take so that you could be here a little bit longer above the surface, just go ahead and take it. Like, okay, I know what a lot of people be thinking about. They think about side effects. You said I pay Ray J a little attention because he has always been an attention seeker for 25 years. But hope he did. Oh man, yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that. I'm gonna get back to that in just a second. You said I'm tired of taking cholesterol meds. Listen, Stephen, my brother. Listen, listen. Take it, take it, man. Until your doctor says, okay, you are physically fit for you to get off of it or whatever. You're able to manage, whatever you got going. Just take it, but you got to take it, man. Trying to prove my LDL. Yeah, you listen. Just do what you're supposed to. If you got to take diabetes medication, take it. Like I'm not Ashley and Steven. Y'all know y'all been with my channel for a long time. You know me. I'm not really big on medicines. You know what I'm saying? If I have my choice, holistic route. You know what I'm saying? Taking your vitamins or whatever. You're saying natural. But you don't want to be an idiot. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm not a doctor. You know what I'm saying? I'm just here to raise awareness. You know what I'm saying? But I do train. You know what I'm saying? And I personal train, and then also I'm able to give people nutritional advice. But I don't give nutritional advice to every single body. You know why? Because everybody's body is different, and everybody consumes food differently. You know what I'm saying? And they look at the way that they live their lifestyle is different. But don't be stupid. You know what I'm saying? Don't be an idiot. Don't be, oh yeah, you know what? They finna tell you only got like, less than a year. Oh, I ain't taking no meds. I got it. Nah, You know what I'm saying? Especially when you got people that love and care about you. You know what I'm saying? You might have kids, you know what I'm saying? Might have family and stuff like that that depending on you to be here. I don't have to take required meds and only slightly over the limit, but maybe bump up the cardio. Yeah, because I know you work out anyway. Actually, like, listen, everybody thinks that you gotta be when you're doing cardio, like when you're doing cardio or when you're running or something like that, you gotta be a world class sprinter. Yeah, listen, you're not gonna be Shakari Richardson. You know what I'm saying? You're not trying to get out there and be Usain Bolt or no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? What you're trying to do is you're trying to stay above the surface as a productive citizen. You know what I'm saying? You do what's best for you. Now, if 9 times out of 10, the people that you're gonna come across, you know what I'm saying, they're gonna be weekend warriors and all that other stuff, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? If you busy, you got just a crazy life that in the office, and you're a manager, or manager in a company and stuff like that, which isn't easy, stuff like that. You got to find time, but don't neglect it. But the main thing that I'm saying too, Ashley and Stephen too, don't neglect taking what you need to take, because a lot of people do that. They miss their doses, or um, they skip whatever day that they're supposed to. They be like, oh no, I'm gonna be all right and stuff like that. No, don't do that. Don't do that, man. Now I'm not gonna get on here and tell you to do that. And then if you say like, okay, in Steven's instance, you say, okay, hey, look, you know what? I think it's time for me to go ahead and will out. Let them run that test, and let them do it, gradually and slowly, but don't just jump off of there. You know what I'm saying? Because then you might be putting your life at risk. You know, and I don't want to hear none of this stuff about, oh yeah, well, cave, back in the days, before technology and everything, they didn't have no medicine and all that other stuff. Yeah, this world done changed, and it continues to change. We're not living in the same world that they were living in. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't a lot of pollution, way back when. There wasn't a lot of contamination of the food back then. So you could kill a certain animal or whatever, and it would actually be safer to eat because, of course, they were living off the land. Now you got to worry about all this stuff that they put in, all these hormones and stuff like that they putting into these animals and stuff like that, and then you consume it, and guess what? Then you end up getting sick. That all this stuff that they putting in the fruits and vegetables and stuff like that, they're not the same as when they used to grow it and stuff like that. And I'm not trying to go down that road or nothing like that. But we're talking about health right now, and so we just talking about a whole different dynamic. But I mean, if you got to take it, high blood pressure, you know what I'm saying? Take it. If you got to take some stuff for your heart, take it, man. Just take it. Don't try to skip it. Don't try to be like, oh man, it's giving me side effects, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And if it's giving you side effects, go talk to your primary care physician. You know what I'm saying? Go talk to your doctor. Let them know what's going on. You're not feeling good on the medication. You know what I'm saying? But either do that or you be back in the hospital bed, or God forbid you'll be somewhere worse, and that's not what we want. But on a lighter note, though, we got fight tonight. We got fight tonight. Fight night. We got Shakur versus Teofemo Lopez. Oh yeah, man, we still gonna stay live. You know what I'm saying? Still gonna stay live. Still here. Not going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Still here. If you want to build, you can build. If not, I understand. You know what I'm saying? Saturday, people gotta get stuff going. You know what I'm saying? People ready to get back out. You know what I'm saying? Go shopping. You know what I'm saying? Got closed out sales, all this. You said I'm taking Stevenson in 6 rounds. Yeah, I like that pick. Yeah. Um. Listen. And a lot of people don't think that I don't like Teofimo a little bit. I don't like what he did at the press conference. Okay, he tried to rain on Buzz parade. I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Now Teofimo Lopez, is he good? Yeah, he is good, but he's not better than Shakur. Shakur is on a whole nother level. Okay, I don't say that about very many people. When I talk about Devin Haney, he's on a whole nother level. When we talk about Shakur Stevenson, he's the cream of the crop. Listen, people get mad at me, you know what I'm saying? And I hope my brother 78 Sports don't get mad at me. I hope the brother Ticket TV, you know what I'm saying? I hope y'all don't get mad at me, you know what I'm saying? Town Biz, you know what I'm saying? Too Raw, you know what I'm saying? All the guys that talk boxing out there, man. Uh, Bang, look, I fuck with Shakur Stevenson, okay? And I have often said this. Shakur Stevenson has the best range and has the total complete package right now. Devin Haney is my favorite. Okay, he's my favorite. You said I like to see, man. Shakur Stevenson would destroy Tank. Okay, he would destroy Tank. Tank would have to knock him out. But Shakur, he's too elusive. He's too slick. I mean, he's extremely quick. He knows how to make you slip. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to stay in one spot. He will confuse your ass. And on top of that, to make matters worse, he is a southpaw, just like what Gavante is. So, and I mean, he change of speed. You know, this guy right here, man, Shakur Stevenson. I've been talking about him for a long time. Now, I didn't take him too serious. I had a friend of mine that made me watch him. I watched him during the pandemic. I have first laid eyes on Shakur Stevenson during the pandemic when there was a lot of uncertainty going on with the COVID and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So they had to fight in empty arenas and all that jazz and stuff. And so I watched him, man. And you said Tank had better footwork. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Absolutely not, man. Absolutely not. Tank needs to worry about getting healthy right now. If he can't get past Lamont Roach, who we felt like won that fight. If he can't get past him, what makes you think that he's gonna deal with a guy like Shakur Stevenson? He does not have better footwork. Not at all. Tank is not. He's gotten better in terms of his boxing or whatever, but he didn't look too good against Lamont Roach at all. And Lamont Roach, everybody knows he won that fight. Everybody knows he won that fight. But like I said, in terms of his power, yeah, Tank has power and he has precision and everything. But Shakur Stevenson, he has power. You know what I'm saying? It's not as powerful as maybe Gervonta Davis, but sometimes it's not even about the power. Even Steven, it's not even about the power. It's like how you hit your opponent. You know what I'm saying? It makes it vicious. And what is Tank's specialty? It's the uppercut left. You know what I'm saying? That a lot of people wanted to ban that hit. So no, he doesn't have better footwork than Stevenson. Go look at Shakur Stevenson. That's why everybody talk about how he runs now. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, he's working with one of the best. He's working with Bud. Bud footwork is phenomenal. When we talk about Terrence Crawford, his footwork phenomenal, amazing, a switch hitter. You know what I'm saying? Shakur Stevenson is going to come in there. He's gonna utilize. You said Roach versus Tank rematch. I don't want to see that. Listen. This is what I want to see. I want to see Tank get better. I want to see him rehab. I want to see him bounce back. Man, this guy just bailed out of jail, um, and he's got protective orders against him not to be in contact with the alleged party and stuff like that. Man, no, you got to get your stuff right outside of the ring before we start talking about Lamont Roach. Why ain't you talking about Haney? You just not even talking about the guy that is dominating. That's who you need to be talking about. Talking about all these has-beens that's not putting in work. He ain't out there taking no risk. You talking about Tank, man. Don't nobody want to see him, man. People want to see people that's actually going to progress, man. I've been here talking about Tank, man. Talk about people that matter right now. Haney, he matters. Usyk, he matters. You know what I'm saying? Shakur Stevenson, he matters. You talking about a guy that can't even get his stuff straight outside of the ring. Oh my God, you really gonna go there? You talking about Lion Ryan, jacked up with steroids and stuff like that? Yeah, he lost to Garcia, but what did he just do? What did Haney just do? What did he do, Steven? He moved up. He moved up, and guess what? Got undisputed again. Did moved up in weight and was able to get the crown in that division. Has Tank did that? No. So you could talk about all that. Oh, he lost to Ryan. Well, everybody knows he cheated. Everybody knows that. You know, if you want to count that, that goes to show you how you think and where your integrity lies. Take him off of that stuff, man. That guy not focused. Ain't nobody even talking about Ryan. No, they talking about Haney. So you could say that all you want to. Oh, he lost to Ryan. No, he didn't. It's not on his record no more. Team Haney, come on, man. He's up in here taking risks, and on top of that, he undisputed. Something that Tank is not. Okay, something that Shakur Stevenson is fighting to do. That's who you need to be talking about. You need to talk about Lamar Roach, daring to be great. Talk about Usyk. Nobody's been able to defeat Usyk. They've tried on several different occasions, but has been unsuccessful. That's who you need to talk about. But you bringing up Tank, a guy that can't even get his shit together outside of the ring. So you can say all that stuff you want. Oh, he lost. Okay, what did he do when they tried to do everything legal? You know damn well that Ryan wouldn't have fought like that had he not been on that drug. You know why? He'd have got whooped just like he did by Tank. You know, with a gut punch. Was he on drugs then? Don't get quiet on me there. Don't get quiet on me now. Shoot, you know what I'm saying? Talk about Haney on here, man. Talk about Haney on here. I'm Team Haney all day. So all this stuff that y'all try to come with Haney talk about he pillow hands and all this other stuff, man. That shit nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Because the same pillow hands you try to step up in the ring, and they said the same thing about him. And guess what? When Brian Norman Jr. tried to come up in there, guess what? Dominated him. That's the fight you need to be talking about. How come you not talk about that? You talk about Ryan Garcia, man. Nobody talking about that. No, we talking about Brian Norman. You don't even want to give him his props. You said, do you think Wilder can win the title back? Yeah, man. Listen, man. Me, myself, personally, I think, okay, if we win the title back, I think Champ should I think the brother Deontay call it a career. Really, honestly, Deontay Wilder don't have nothing to prove. Look, he did what was necessary. Deontay Wilder did what was necessary for his daughter at the time. You know what I'm saying? He didn't know how far boxing was going to take, and it took it pretty far. You know what I'm saying? Um, I I think that if he doesn't get if let's say he gets the title back, okay, call it a career. You straight. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to box no more. You good. You know what I'm saying? If you don't get the title back, call it a career, man. You good. But like I said, we can't tell a man how to feel and think or what to do. That's another thing. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother dynamic, you know. But he gonna get in there, gonna give it a try again, you know what I'm saying? He's got a heart of a lion. You don't want to give up. You know, listen, Deontay Wilder is a good guy, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just a shame that his ex wants to try to jump on the clout to try to take the attention off of Deontay Wilder, knowing that what he about to do. You know what I'm saying? Talking about some OnlyFans BS or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And yes, Ryan was on drugs. Ryan was on drugs. Lightweight is on fire. Absolutely, absolutely, man. And listen, man. Like I said, everybody's entitled to their opinion, you know. But when it comes to Devin Haney, man, I mean, this guy gets so much unnecessary hate, man. This guy is humble. He stays in the gym. He's a winner. He works hard. Gets better at his craft every single year. Every time you say that this nigga can't do something, guess what? He goes in the lab and he does it. Everybody think that they gonna come over here and they think that, oh, I don't like Haney and all this. Oh, man, you bullshitting. I've been riding with Haney since the beginning. You know what I'm saying? I done took a lot of hit. Everybody used to come up in here and talk about, oh, Haney trash, all this other bullshit. Man, get your ass up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Talking down on Bill Haney and shit like that, man. This dude giving people opportunity and stuff like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Taking the LeVar Ball route. You know what I'm saying? Watching his son. Shoot, man, y'all can learn a lot from Bill Haney when it comes to your kids and stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to have your kids and set them up for success and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Every kid ain't gonna, be in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Every kid ain't gonna come up in the projects and the ghettos and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? He was just blessed to come up, you know what I'm saying, and have an opportunity. That's what you're supposed to do. You said Floyd Schofield is up and coming lightweight. Oh yeah, yeah, lightweight. Yeah, I like that lightweight division. But tonight fight, uh, listen, it's gonna do some numbers. I just love upset, man. They didn't put it on on uh, on Netflix. You know what I'm saying? You got paid damn near, you know what I'm saying, $70, you know what I'm saying, $80 or whatever the hell. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that everybody got so used to, having that Netflix and everything, Turkey out of sheet, you know what I'm saying? He found a lane. Um, but, it's gonna be a good fight. Uh but I got Shakur Stevenson, man. He Shakur is phenomenal. I don't think a lot of people pay attention to Shakur. This guy right here, man, like really, honestly, man, if you want entertainment, Shakur got it. You know what I'm saying? You want the look, Shakur got it. You know what I'm saying? He flamboyant, you know what I'm saying, in the ring, and he flamboyant outside of the ring. You know what I'm saying? He got charisma. You know what I'm saying? This guy got style. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker don't get touched. You know what I mean? Shakur should move on. And he gonna do that. He gonna do that. Shakur can do that. He can do that. I can see Shakur Stevenson dominating all the weight classes. You know what I'm saying? And possibly getting out unblemished. Now, if he lose a fight, hey, that's all right. But I don't see it happening. Shakur is that dude, man. Look, man. Look, I know some people up in there. They're like, oh, I don't like Shakur. Look, I fuck with Shakur. I think he's the better of the three. At that time, people wanted to know who was the better of the three when we talk about Davis, when we talk about Haney, and when we talk about Stevenson. I thought Shakur Stevenson cleaned both of them guys. You know what I'm saying? But my favorite out of all of them was Haney. You know what I'm saying? But who do I feel could be the hardest to stop? Shakur Stevenson. Everybody talk about Tank and his power. Power can only take you so long, so far. You know what I'm saying? You got to do more than that. You see uh, what it did to Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to bash Mike Tyson or nothing like that, but Buster Douglas was able to pretty much get a blueprint on how to stop Tyson. You know what I'm saying? You get him past a certain round or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That power can only do so much. But like I said, Shakur Stevenson, he's taking the route of guys like He's taking a page out of the book like a Muhammad Ali. You know what I'm saying? Like a Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? He's taking pages out of their book like a Terrence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Hold on 1 minute. Yeah, but I think he'll move up and he'll dominate too. I think he'll dominate. He's a hard worker, man. He's a hard worker, man. Real hard worker. You said Tyson beat Douglas 15 count. Buster Douglas was KO in the 8th round. Nah, man. Buster Douglas beat Tyson, man. He dominated Tyson. Knocked out his mouthpiece and everything, man. Now we could go with the count and all that other stuff. Tyson had no chance of winning. Tyson had no chance of winning, man. Okay. Um, and that wasn't a KO. That was a knockdown. It's a difference. You know. Hold on. Hold on 1 minute. You said Tyson was leading the scorecard. Nah, listen, man. He got dominated. I mean, he dominated him from the jab, uppercut. He was countering him. He had an answer for everything that day. You know, and Tyson took an L, and you saw that he was fatigued. Now, listen, man. I know you getting fan. The fanboy is coming out of you. But he got whooped, man. Plain and simple. Can you say the same thing about Lennox Lewis? No, you cannot. He dominated him with the jab, was elusive. Height played in his favor. Could you say the same thing about Evander Holyfield? No, Evander Holyfield dominated him. You know what I'm saying? Like I understand that y'all love Tyson. You know what I'm saying? I like Tyson too. But every guy that was on his level or better, he never beat, man. He never beat. And that's hard for y'all that's a hard pill for y'all to swallow. But it's the truth. When he ran up against stiff competition, with people in their primes, he lost. You said that's why Tyson bit his ear. Tyson bit his ear because he was frustrated. Um, he was frustrated that Evander Holyfield was just so much better than him. Okay, he was so much better than him. Evander he was a better boxer. He had just as great a punching power as Mike Tyson. And on top of that, Evander was hard to put down on the ground. You know what I'm saying? He had a chin. He would eat punches a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? We talking about the heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? But I was disappointed in Tyson. Looking back on it now, back then it was funny. You know, back then it was funny, but looking back at it, a few years down the line or whatever, I was like, man, Tyson shouldn't have did that. You know what I'm saying? But hey, he made a mistake. Years later, they were able to sit down. You know what I'm saying, and then become friends and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But it was competition. He didn't want to lose. You know what I'm saying? And Mike Tyson was a competitor. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna sit up here and act like Tyson wasn't one of the best to do it. I mean, he was. You know what I'm saying? But the fact is when he ran up against somebody, you know what I'm saying, that was on his level or better, he ended up losing. And a lot of people don't like to have that conversation. They don't like to have that conversation. We could get the same smoke to Floyd. You know what I'm saying? He got to the point where he could choose his own fights. You know what I'm saying? Terrence Crawford, he took the other route. You know what I'm saying? That's why I feel like Terrence Crawford gets a little bit more pride. Terrence Crawford went hunting. He went hunting. Went to 168 and took down the king of 168. You know what I'm saying? That had been the king of 168. And then on top of that, you know what I'm saying, was undisputed in multiple weight classes. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, put the icing on the cake, walked out with the crown. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know he had to give the belts up and everything like that, but still legend. Still legend. So, look, you got his ass whooped, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, y'all don't want to sit up here, y'all want to make excuses and stuff like that. Oh, man, the count and all that. Look, he had no chance of winning that fight, you know. Go back, go look at it, man. He was dominating from jump start. Buster Douglas. I mean, I now is Buster Douglas one of the greatest to ever do it in terms of his resume? We can't say all that. Uh, Buster Douglas did run into hard times. You know what I'm saying? We know the story about him. You know what I'm saying, with his struggles and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Some people call him the one-hit wonder. You know what I'm saying? That's all they know. And then after that, Buster Douglas was losing, started gaining weight and all that other stuff. But because I think Buster Douglas from Ohio, right? I think I want to say he's from Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? I know these guys' background. You know what I'm saying? Like I just I don't dive into it and stuff like that. But I know a lot about these guys. You know, but that put Buster Douglas on the map for a minute. But after that, hold on one second. Yeah, he from Cleveland. He from Cleveland, man. So yeah, Buster Douglas was a one-hit wonder. You know what I'm saying? But Tyson is still an all-time great. You know what I'm saying? I know they look at and it took look, Stephen. It took me years to realize it too. I used to get into debates with this guy. That he actually was a professional boxer. You know what I'm saying? It was when I was uh, in school or whatnot. And he actually was a professional boxer. You know what I'm saying? And we used to get into it. I was like, man, but what about Mike Tyson? He'd be like, everybody else would be like, oh man, how you gonna diss Tyson and stuff like that? But he was like, Tyson. He said Tyson was not as good as people think. You know what I'm saying? He every time he fought somebody, he ended up losing, and it took me years to really understand that. You know what I'm saying? But when you analyze it and you look at it, every time he fought somebody, that was on his level or superior, he ended up losing. And listen, I'm not getting on here to bash Tyson, or this ain't no Tyson bashing party or no shit like that. That's not what I'm doing. It's just facts. It's straight up facts. So I mean, we could talk about it all day. You know what I'm saying? And hold on one second. Yeah, but let's move on from that. So it's clear everybody got Shakur. Um, now let's you know what? I'll talk about that a little bit later. You know what? Stay locked in. I'm gonna talk about the Pooh Sheisty in another video. I'm gonna talk about that on a whole nother live. But y'all stay locked in with me. Make sure y'all like the video, share, subscribe, hit the notifications too, so that you are properly notified. Straight to the point. Shouts out to the whole entire LDBC basketball boxing. You know I'm rocking. Till then, I'm gone.